Evansville Hyundai. Why duel with other dealers when you can deal with the duels?
1950s through the 60s and on into the early 70s, when the Evansville Aces played basketball here at Roberts Stadium, it was one hot ticket. In fact, it was the only game in town. 55 years and 834 games later, that's why today it's going to be a very emotional day for thousands of people. For in just a little over an hour from now, the Aces will host Illinois State in what will be the Aces' last game at Roberts. Among those in the building tonight, or this afternoon, Jerry Sloan, Wayne Boldinghouse, Dick Walters, and many more. Hi, everybody. Mike Blake alongside Joe Danneman. It is great to have you with us as we take a look back at this wonderful building that has meant so much in the rich Aces history. We're going to hear from various players, coaches, and, of course, fans. Joe, you've been in all kinds of big arenas. This kid went to Syracuse, so he knows about the biggest, the Carrier Dome. But here, when you came into this place, what was your first? What does this place mean to you? Why is it so special?
It's special. It's different for everybody. For me, it reminds me of my childhood. I didn't grow up in this area, but I remember watching Aces games on TV, following the old Midwestern Collegiate Conference, the old MCC, the big rivals against Dayton, St. Louis, and Xavier. So to see games in here reminds me of being a kid and kind of remembering where you were watching yourself watching these games. You know, they expect a big crowd, just like the old times in this building. It's still 60 minutes until tip-off of this basketball game. They expect a big walk-up crowd. It's not sold out at this point, but a lot of fans are here to see the Aces celebrate the final game on their home court.
We may have as many as 10,000.
They say a house is not a home. This old building is dusty seats, a cramped concourse, and stained concrete. But it's those imperfections that make it perfect. The character that makes Roberts Stadium the home of Aces basketball.
This stadium here, it is a relationship much like you would have with an individual. Roberts Stadium to us and the people that played for the University of Evansville, it's as though it's a person. It's like a member of the family is moving on.
Built in the mid-50s, Roberts Stadium witnessed some of the city's biggest moments. Presidents made speeches.
There were a lot of folks who didn't think we could make this.
And kings played music.
From the smells to the spilled Cokes or the popcorn, I mean, you just remember all those little things that are so important to what we're about.
Now half a century old, the stadium several times changed its look. New courtside seats in the 90s and new court designs for each changing style.
I grew up in a small town close to here, and I still reflect back on coming to the games when there were the temporary bleachers before they did the renovation.
But what never changed is what makes this place special. What makes this building a home to generations.
People, the fans, all the history and tradition of the great players long before I played and the teams I played on. But more than anything, the city, the community, the support that they give, that's what made it super special to me.
To see the crowd and to have 12, 14,000 screaming people chanting Aces, Aces, just absolutely deafening. You got a confidence, you got a swagger about you at that point that this is my home, this is my place, and you're not going to do anything that's going to harm us in any way, and we're going to kick your butt.
When they built Roberts Stadium back in 1955, it cost $2 million to construct, $16 million to renovate in 1990. Interesting when you compare it to the cost of the new arena, which is $127 million.
You got it. And today, Joe, with the fans that come in here, it's had more than 6.2 million fans, if you can believe that. Hey, we're joined by two of the best ever, Marcus Wilson and also Andy Elkins, the numbers 3 and 4 scorers in UE history. Marcus now resides in Atlanta. What's it like for you? What are your thoughts as you come into this place, perhaps for one last time?
It's a trip down memory lane. I love being here, and I can just feel the feeling what it's going to be like here for senior night for these guys. I'm just happy for them, and just happy to see all the guys back. Guys like Andy, guys like Scott Hafner, Coach Sloan. It's going to be a memorable night.
Did Roberts play a role in your recruitment?
Oh, of course. You know, when you come in here and you just see all the banners and and just the tradition of that's going on here in Robert Stadium. You get the small school with the big college field with the college basketball here. So Robert Stadium has so many memories, and I had some great ones here, Andy, and I'm just happy to be here for the last game.
Andy, you had season tickets here before you moved recently, so you've walked out of that tunnel many times since you played, but what's that feeling like for a basketball player to walk out of the tunnel here at Robert Stadium in front of a big crowd?
Oh, it's a tremendous feeling. You come out and the pep band's playing the school song and 10,000 people stand up and cheer you on. And, I've been a fan in this stadium. I've watched Marcus play. I remember when they beat what was then called Southwest Missouri State for the NBC championship. But I've been here when Brad Leaf and Theron Bullock and those guys were playing, and been here for the circus and been here for everything that's going on here at Robert Stadium. So it's a great feeling, and it's a place I'm definitely going to miss.
We know it's emotional for all the guys on the team, for all the former players and coaches, but how important is it to win this game, to send this place out with a win?
Well, I think it's really important, and for everybody to come out, I'm sure it's going to be a packed house this evening. They're also doing real well in the conference this year, so it's for seeding in the conference tournament for next week. So it's huge that they come out and make a statement game right before they go to the tournament.
Guys, it's great to have you. Most memorable moment here?
My most memorable moment was on senior night, obviously, right here in this corner. Just making the shot to win the Missouri Valley Conference on my senior night.
Senior night, and of course I would think it'd be for you too, right, Andy? A great time.
Yeah, great senior night. I always remember senior night and my first game running out here. So I'd say the two bookend games are the ones I remember the most.
Andy Elkins, Marcus Wilson, two of the best ever. Guys, enjoy the day. When we come back, more memories. Former head coach Dick Walters is in the house. He's going to join us live, and we're going to hear from two other outstanding players, Reed Jackson and Hall of Fame Scott Schreffler. We'll get their thoughts about this historic day when a farewell to Roberts continues. We'll be right back.
It's what you've been waiting for, and it's back. The Mazda Sign and Drive lease offer at the Duals Evansville Mazda. $199 a month lease on a new 2011 Mazda 3 iSport, or $319 a month lease on a new 2011 Mazda CX-7, and as little as $389 a month lease on a new 2011 Mazda CX-9, all with $0 down at lease signing. Just sign and drive away in a new Mazda right now at the Duals Evansville Mazda.
Why should you consider earning your master's in education from the University of Evansville?
I hope to have more tools and my tool bag to be a better teacher.
I was trained to be a scientist in a classroom, but now I feel like I'm trained to be a science teacher.
It was a program that would work well with my schedule as a teacher. My mindset has changed since I've come in here.
The Master of Science in Education at the University of Evansville. Take your career to the next level.
So you want a faster way to the latest news, weather, and sports from 14 News? Well, we have an app for you. Introducing the 14 to Go application for your iPhone. It's easy to install, and it's free. Just go to the App Store and search 14 to Go. Tap the 14 News logo and hit install. You now have instant access to the Tri-States News and Weather Leader at the palm of your hand. The 14 to Go iPhone app. Only from 14 News. The Tri-States News and Weather Leader. Sponsored by Kenny Kent Toyota. You never know what to expect on 14WFIE.com. The stories they'll be talking about, the video you have to see, caught on tape and only online. Just type, click, and watch video on 14WFIE.com from the Tri-States News and Weather Leader.
When Dick Walters took over as head coach of the Aces, it was very difficult times in the first season after that tragic plane crash in 1977. But what a job Dick did. In 7 years, he'd go on to lead the Aces to 114 wins, their first Midwestern Collegiate Conference title, and to their first ever trip to the big dance, the NCAA Division I tournament. It's a pleasure for Joe and me to welcome Coach Walters, the California guy now. Dick, welcome back. It's been a while since you've been in this building. What's it like for you?
Well, it's great to be back, and the arena looks very different. You know, I haven't been here in a quarter of a century.
Oh my gosh!
And so it makes me wonder why they're tearing it down. It looks like a great basketball facility. They've done a great job with it, but I'm sure everyone's excited about the new facility. But it's great to be back, Mike.
What was Roberts? What did it mean to you? Because it was a happening place, wasn't it?
Well, we got so much support because of the tragedy, and before that, it's always been a great basketball community, and but we had such support from throughout the country and here, and it was phenomenal. This place was alive, and we had a lot of great games here.
We've seen Jerry Sloan here. We've seen more than 80 former coaches and players in the arena today. Why is it important, do you think, Dick, to have the old coaches and the old players back to help celebrate Roberts?
Well, unfortunately, I live in Southern California, and I've lost contact with a lot of the players. And that's really the main reason I'm here, other than to thank everyone for everything they did for me and my family while I was here. But this is a big day for me. I know some of my former players will be here, and it should be a great day.
We were just sitting here. Kenny Perry tapped you. The big guy is still big. He's still 6'11".
He's bigger than I remember it.
What's your greatest achievement here, do you think, in this building?
Well, I think just the fact that we got it going. I can remember our very first game when we walked out, played Poland, I believe, in international games. The first time the fans had seen the Aces since the tragedy. And when we walked through that tunnel and to see this place full, it was really a special night. I remember that as much as anything.
And he did get it going. Dick, congratulations. I know it's going to be a wonderful day. He's going to speak to the crowd after the game, right?
I am.
Good for you. And we'll be seeing that here on 14 as well.
And after Coach Walters left in 1985, a former Bob Knight assistant coach took the sidelines here at Roberts Stadium. It took Jim Cruz just 2 years to win a conference title, just 4 years to win an NCAA tournament game. Two of Coach Cruz's former players sat down this week with Mike Blake to share their memories of Roberts Stadium.
Guys, how much of a factor was Roberts Stadium in your making a decision to come and play for the Evansville Aces?
I'm from a small school, you know, just like Scott was, and I came in the stadium, I was like, wow, this is nice, you know, and then all of a sudden you feel it when you're in the stadium. It's hard to describe, but the hair starts standing up on your arms, it's electric in the crowd, and I looked at my dad and I said, I don't want to go anywhere else. This is where I want to play.
Do you remember the first time you came through this tunnel? What was that like as a member of the Evansville Aces?
My favorite part of coming out of the tunnel, especially in our big rivalry games, where the cheerleaders are getting everybody going, and you could just feel the intensity in the environment. And that time coming out, man, that was the best.
When you sit there and you're in there and you're listening to Coach go over the game plan, and you're ready to play, and then you can hear the fans, and you're running out here, you feel like you could jump through the roof almost. You know, you just got that much adrenaline flowing in you. And I remember sitting on the bench in a timeout, and I'm trying to hear Coach, and I can't hear him. I mean, I just can't hear him because the crowd is so loud that he's standing from me to Scott, and he's screaming, and I can't hear him. We walk out of the huddle, and I go, Scott, what'd he say? I don't know. You know, it was one of those things where it's just part of it that is just undescribable.
It truly will be the end of an era. Any mixed emotions, guys, when Saturday comes?
Yeah, I have mixed emotions. There's a lot of great memories that I've had here, and we always have a bond with the Evansville crowd, and it's a place that you have great memories, but you don't ever lose those memories.
You know, on Saturday when I'm here on the court after the game and seeing a lot of former players and remembering all the memories of coaches, players, cheerleaders, fans, I'm going to make that last walk out that tunnel again, and it's going to be pretty special.
Both Schreffler and Jackson scored more than 1,000 points in their career here at Evansville. In fact, Scott is still top 10 with his point total. There's only one ace right now who's threatening to get up in that list. It's Colt Ryan, the sophomore, right now on pace to finish top 5 in school history in scoring.
Unbelievable. Hey, a lot of memories coming here at Roberts Stadium. When we come back, You know, Joe knows, or rather, yes, Joe and I know it wouldn't be 14 Sports without another sidekick of ours, Bo McFall. When we come back, Bo's going to take a look at some of the memorable moments in this great facility. We'll take a trip down memory lane when a Farewell to Roberts continues. We'll be right back.
Due to our successful TV and radio campaigns, America's largest manufacturer of steel buildings is offering huge savings on select models.
My husband wanted a building where he could store all of his valuable belongings. Well, I wanted something that would look great on our property. We both found what we wanted at U.S. Buildings.
They're durable, long-lasting, even fire-resistant.
Thanks to their easy-to-read step-by-step construction manual and excellent customer support, our building was constructed in 1 weekend.
These specials won't last long. Buy now and save. Call U.S. Buildings today.
If you're used to watching 14 News, now you can touch it. Be the first to know when news breaks and severe weather is on its way. Watch 14 News video. Track storms live with 14 Dual Doppler. Just search 14 to go in your app store or market and download the 14 to go app right now. Leadership on air, online, on mobile. Powered by Kenny Kidd Toyota. 14 News, the Tri-States news and weather leader.
You expect a lot from 14 News Sunrise, the Tri-State's #1 morning show. But you might not expect to win $10,000 worth of appliances from King's Great Buys Plus. GE's top-of-the-line fridge, dishwasher, microwave, and range. 14 News and King's want to give it to you. Register at 14wfie.com or King's. Then watch 14 News Sunrise every morning. If we call your name, you have 14 minutes to call us. Daily finalists get a $50 King's card from 14 News and King's Great Buys Plus.
Get in on great savings and low leases right now at the Duals Evansville Kia. Like the 2011 Kia Optima starting at only $19,795 or lease as low as $259 a month. Or the new Kia Soul for as little as $15,795 or $189 a month lease. Plus you can lease a 2011 Kia Sorento as low as $299 a month. Plus all new Kias come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Kia, the power to surprise. See them all at the Duals Evansville Kia.
Again, it's great to have you with us for this special. A Farewell to Roberts joining Joe and me now. Another very talented guy who is not only an anchor reporter, but he's a bona fide Aces groupie, Bo McFall.
And Bo spent his off days this week, I think, about 16 hours up in our archive room going through stacks of old tapes, trying to find the great footage you've seen throughout this show so far. I know it's hard because you remember all those moments. I'm sure you found yourself watching the clips more than working at some point.
Yeah, it was a little distracting looking back at all of my childhood memories. And I've had so many memories at this place. I got to watch Garth Brooks sitting up in the top row. I got to watch Hulk Hogan sitting up in one of the skyboxes. But as far as Aces basketball goes, my earliest memory is my two favorite basketball players were Michael Jordan and Sasha Hoopman, because Sasha Hoopman was the tallest person I'd ever seen in my life, and I think he was the only person that could dunk on the team. But going through those, there are so many memories that we're here at Roberts Stadium. Here's some of those memories from the past 55 years.
There it is, 1 second. Aces, national champions, undefeated. Aces, the Aces. And here they are. They're hugging Sloan, they're hugging McCutcheon. This is the greatest bunch, ladies and gentlemen, that we have ever had the privilege of seeing.
It happened 46 years ago next month. A-Rad McCutcheon led the 29-0 Aces to their 4th college division national title in 7 years. It's hard to top finishing an unbeaten season in your own building. The U of E men's basketball team has thrilled fans over and over again, and it's 56 years at Roberts Stadium, like in December of 1983.
Howard, Wallace, yeah! Woo! Evansville has upset Purdue, 80-65. The 7th-rated Boilermakers are defeated by the Evansville Aces.
12 years later, U of E wasn't so fortunate when another Big Ten foe came to town, but just the spectacle of having the General and his Hoosiers in the building is something many fans will never forget. There was also the time in 1987 when the Aces needed not one, but 2 last-second shots in an MCC battle against St. Louis, first at the end of regulation.
Here come the Aces in a hurry. There's the clock. They got to get it. Hafner's got to put it up. Simmons. Yes! What a shot! Oh, my, Marty Simmons.
And then, in the final moments of the extra period.
They better do something in a hurry. Hafner's going to jack it up. Fakes up. In!
Aces are going to win it. It's all over. One of the great wins of the season. The Aces knock off St. Louis.
Speaking of Scott Hafner, the man put up the greatest individual performance ever in an Aces uniform 2 years later against Dayton.
Top of the circle. 3 by Hafner. Good! He did it. That's a new record. What new record? He passed that a long time ago. Left corner. Hafner, 3. Shot up. Oh, good. He did it again. He did it again. He did it again.
Hafner's '89 team went on to beat Oregon State in the NCAA tournament, and Jim Cruz followed that up with back-to-back Big Dance squads in 1992 and 1993. The Aces finished up the 90s with their first ever MVC championship with the help of the Conference Player of the Year. Throughout the past 5.5 decades, a number of great teams, players, and coaches graced the floor here in this building. The real heroes at Roberts Stadium, the people that have turned games, dunks, and jump shots into lifelong memories of the U of V faithful in the stands. The days of the Aces playing at Roberts may come to an end today, but the moments will never leave our minds. And the great thing is, we have no idea what is in store, no idea what we could witness as Evansville basketball ends one era and starts a new one.
This is the hour, and this is the one to enjoy.
I want to thank John Miley for providing us with some of those images and audio throughout the years, and also our editor, Mitch Wolf, who helped me go through all those archive tapes over the past couple of days. And just want to say it's an honor to be a part of this day.
John Miley's got the best collection in America. John, we deeply appreciate it. Hey guys, we know this guy, one of the Aces' most loyal fans for a long time, ironically, is known for his baseball prowess. He's a baseball junkie, and that he's the owner, and his family's own the AAA franchise now, the Frontier League, Evansville Otters, Bill Bussing. Bill, ironically, you thought about writing a book, and it turned into a very lengthy manuscript. When did your love affair with this building, with the Aces, begin?
I can tell you the exact day, Mike. The first game I ever saw was the 1971 championship game against Old Dominion. I can tell you where I sat with my dad. Hasn't stopped since.
And you brought a couple of pictures, didn't you?
I did.
But that was even before 71.
Oh yeah, I brought a couple from the 1965 championship game against Southern Illinois, where we went unbeaten in the overtime.
Talk about, too, Bill, what this place, because you're in the marketing business. You need crowds to survive in 2011. How critical was Roberts to the rich tradition of the Aces?
Well, Aces basketball wasn't born here, Mike, but it sure grew up here. And it became a nationally known program here, and no matter what happens after we leave here, and I'm sure we're moving in a spectacular facility, there'll never be another place like this. It used to rock.
Bill, you spend all your days in the summer in an old building at Bosse Field, one of the oldest in the country for a sporting event. What is it about an old building that kind of gives it its charm, its character, just like Roberts Stadium?
It's the place, Joe. It's the memories. It's not so much the games, it's the people. And you look around here and you see some genuinely good people who are still connected with the program, and it's hard to divorce the place from the people.
Well, one of the best people, couldn't have better fans. Bill, thanks for being. Is it kind of an emotional day for you?
Terribly.
We'll get you through it. Our thanks to Bill Bussing. Bo, thank you, my friend. And when we come back, talk about memories, Joe. When we come back, one of the most memorable events, one of the greatest still to this day, a great event. Joe's going to take a look at Scott Hafner's phenomenal 65-point performance back in March of 1989. A Farewell to Roberts returns right after this.
Attention. The anti-acne drug Accutane is a very dangerous drug. If you or a loved one took Accutane and now have Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, or your colon has been removed, call attorney Greg Jones right now.
If you ever took Accutane or one of these generic versions and you now suffer from any of these conditions, call the Greg Jones Law Firm right now.
Several juries have recently awarded millions of dollars to Accutane victims, including awards of $7 million, $8.6 million, and $10.5 million. Call the Greg Jones Law Firm right now to see if you may qualify for financial compensation. If you or a loved one has taken any of these drugs and were injured, call us right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation.
If you or a loved one took Accutane and now suffer from Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis, call 1-800-732-6699. That's 1-800-732-6699.
It's what you've been waiting for, and it's back. The Mazda Sign and Drive lease offer at the Duals Evansville Mazda. $199 a month lease on a new 2011 Mazda 3 iSport, or $319 a month lease on a new 2011 Mazda CX-7, and as little as $389 a month lease on a new 2011 Mazda CX-9. All with $0 down at lease signing. Just sign and drive away in a new Mazda right now at the Duals Evansville Mazda.
To this day, it is still, folks, one of the greatest, not just aces, but one of the greatest college individual performance in college basketball history.
30 points in a college basketball game, Mike, is a great game. 40 points is one of those all-time numbers. 50's unheard of. But what about 60 points? It's now 22 years and 1 week since Scott Hafner hit that seemingly untouchable mark. Some of the witnesses who saw it in this building tell that story.
It hangs 10 feet high and is decorated by 18 inches of white nylon cord. It's painted orange, made of metal, and is the smallest goal in major sport, the rim. It can be unforgiving, unkind, but also witness to the unthinkable, the unstoppable, the unforgettable performance.
You knew he had it in him because he could score. He had 30 several times that year. And
standing in the same building where he witnessed college basketball history, Scott Schreffler says his teammates didn't realize the magnitude of this moment.
Wing, Hafner, three, good!
Until the start of the second half and this announcement to Roberts Stadium.
And for Evansville, Scott Hafner with 35 points, and we all looked at each other like, wow, he's got 35.
35 points and still 20 basketball minutes to make history with every shot.
Kraft on top of the circle. High right to Hafner. Three-pointer. Good!
People will say, well, he must have been shooting every time, or you guys must have cleared out for him, but it was just really within the offense. It was really a thing of beauty to watch.
The crowd erupted when Scott Hafner broke the school record and 50 points on this shot.
Hafner, three. Good! It's good! It's good! It's good!
I'm the sports information director, so I'm supposed to be throwing out all the information, and we get toward the end of the game, and I know he's got 60 points or so, and I don't have an NCAA record book with me.
Nearing 60 points in college basketball records, his teammates kept passing, and Hafner kept scoring.
He caught it and kind of came underneath the basket and kind of flipped it up, and that's the point. I was like, man, he's not going to miss.
Mack underneath the Hafner, lays it up. Good!
He had a flurry right at the end with guys waiting at the scorer's table to come in for him when he scored about 9 points in a minute or so.
Hafner, three. Good! It's good! It's good! It's good!
We finally discovered that the 65 points were the most points scored in the entire decade of the 80s by a Division I player.
Left corner, Hafner, three. Shot up. Oh! Good! He did it again! He did it again!
He was always kind of even keel. But he got pretty excited at the end of that game. I remember him running down the court one time after he made it and throwing his fist in the air like that, and he knew it was something special.
And some of the stats from the box score in that game makes it even more amazing. You look at it, 23 of 29 from the field. Scott made 11 three-pointers. He also made all 8 foul shots. Those 65 points, still top 10 in Division I history.
I think he had 33 at the half. Hey, the man himself is with us, Scott Hafner, and his coach, another UE Hall of Famer, Jim Cruz. Jim, before we talk to you, I know you got some comments about it. Scott, it's been 23 years. Is it still a bigger, when people ask you about it, are you still get a kick out of talking about it?
I do, especially these days, you know, because I'm usually the equipment manager at home with all the kids. So it's fun. You look back on it with probably a lot more respect, you know, of appreciation of what it was. But it was great. It was a great day. Yeah.
During the game, there's all kinds of stories. You couldn't get him out of the lineup at one time, right? You were waiting for a TV timeout, and he had the audacity to make, I think, 2 or 3 more threes. Huh?
Yeah, I think he had 56, and we're trying to get him out of the game because the game was a little bit out of sight for the other team, Dayton, and he had 3 threes in a row to go to 65. If I would have known the record, though, we would have kept him in for another 30 seconds. He would have about 72.
You mentioned the kids. Now have 5 kids living in the Cincinnati area. But when you think back to the game and that night when you kind of got by yourself and can think about what you accomplished, was it hard to go to sleep? What did you think about when you kind of got back to your room and kind of shared your thoughts with yourself?
Well, I think anybody that watched Evansville basketball knows that we run a team motion offense, and so, you know, I had a lot of points that night. The ball was being delivered there at the right time. There was a lot of people setting screens to get me open, and the ball just happened to go in that night. But I guess I would think about next time I go out on the floor, you know, what's going to happen. You know, I don't know if I want to shoot, but it was a good feeling.
Following that game, Coach Cruz heard from Marty. He said, by the way, we asked Coach him, I said, Mark, did you play in that game? I knew you. Did you play in that game when Scott got 65? And he said, you think Hafner would have got 65 if I'd have played that game? But you heard from him the next day. What did he tell you?
Yeah, Marty calls me. Marty and Scott were roommates and obviously the best of friends and still are today. But he called me and he said, Coach, you would have never let me shoot 29 times. And I said, Marty, you shot 27 times and only made 9 against DePaul. I said, we can't afford you getting 24. If you're going to get 30 points per bucket the next 2 shots, we would allow you. Dead silence on the phone.
What's it like just coming back here, enjoying this moment? Last one at Roberts, emotional day. Just kind of what are your thoughts of seeing it close down for Aces basketball?
Just outstanding to be back here, you know, and I started looking and thinking back about the history of Evansville basketball, the tradition, through what Coach McCutcheon and his teams did, and all the things that Coach was able to establish, and now with Marty. It's just I really feel fortunate to be a part of a basketball community that really is knowledgeable, supportive, just outstanding. It's mixed feelings today for sure.
Guys, it is great to see you both. Jim, we'll see you in about a half hour with the game. Scott, best of luck to you and your Fab Five, the Hafner family.
Thank you.
Hey, when we come back, we're going to talk to one of the best fans this place has ever had, a great supporter. Robbie Kent joins us. They'll look back. His dad bought the first 3 Aces season tickets. And we'll also visit with Wayne Boldinghouse, another Hall of Famer. You're watching A Farewell to Roberts, and we'll be back right after this.
Hi, Carrie Gottschall here with the perfect solution to your storage problem. A stylish garage or shop right in your own backyard. US Buildings offers you revolutionary designs that are strong, durable, easy to set up, attractive, and affordable. Why have a cluttered garage when you can have plenty of neatly organized workspace?
US Buildings put me in my new shop in no time. Their high-quality steel structure is American-made. It's even hurricane rated. Now, I can work on my antique cars right in my own backyard.
Their innovative designs require no internal support, which means you get 100% usable space.
I feel like my home is twice as large because I finally have all the storage space I need. Now all my keepsakes are here at home and not stored in a rental unit across town.
No wonder thousands of Americans are using US Buildings. You should too. Call US Buildings right now. Our service representatives are waiting to answer your questions. Build it yourself and save.
Get in on great savings and low leases right now at the Duals Evansville Kia. Like the 2011 Kia Optima starting at only $19,795 or lease as low as $259 a month. Or the new Kia Soul for as little as $15,795 or $189 a month lease. Plus you can lease a 2011 Kia Sorento as low as $299 a month. Plus all new Kias come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Kia, the power to surprise. See them all at the Duals Evansville Kia.
Download the 14 First Alert Weather app now to your mobile device. Get late-breaking First Alert weather information when you want it, where you want it. Your local weather right now. And forecast for the hour in the palm of your hand. Live radar shows you storms approaching. Warnings and advisories from tornadoes to floods at your fingertips, helping you and your family stay safe. Download the 14 First Alert Weather app now. Sponsored by Nutting Heating and Air.
to farewell to Roberts. Still about 27 minutes till tip-off of the final men's Aces game here at Roberts Stadium. And here come the Aces. One of the last few times they'll run out of this tunnel to play a basketball game at Roberts Stadium. The official capacity inside this building is about 12,000. But the man who bought the first 3 season tickets ever at Roberts Stadium started a tradition, a family tradition that still continues today. Robbie Kent is a former university trustee. He carries on that tradition with season tickets today. He sat down with Mike Blake to talk about his perspective of Roberts Stadium.
How important was this great building, yes, to developing the tradition known as Evansville Aces basketball?
After they left the Armory in '55, I mean, this was the catalyst. This was the place that you came. It was an event twice a week, and 10,000 people showed up. You could look across from you. That was Section D, I believe. And you could sit there and you could probably see, it was packed, but every businessman in town was sitting there.
Is there one game, one moment of the game that you say, wow, I'm glad I witnessed that especially?
I think the national championship game was it. I mean, that was an unbelievable ball game. It went back and forth, and in the final, I think we won by, what, 1 point? It's amazing.
Mixed emotions to see this place closed down?
Sure, there's mixed emotions. I mean, there'll be tears Saturday. This was the edifice that helped build the Aces basketball tradition. You started with Mac. God bless Bobby. We lost him in that ball club, and then Dick Walters stepped up and did a great job. You know, we turn around with Jimmy Cruz and Steve Murfield and now Marty. If we can just get back the respect that they deserve, because those kids try hard 24/7, and you've got a great coaching staff, we can once again get back to where we once was. I believe that, and I'll be alive to see it.
We've asked so many people this week about their favorite memories of Roberts Stadium. Robbie has one of the more unique ones. He says his favorite is Buster Briley hitting an 86-foot shot in 1962 against Notre Dame.
He had a bird's eye view. You know, Joe, Robbie, I think, is just about to get here. We are encouraged. A great crowd. They think maybe as many as 9,000 could be coming today. Hey, one of the best ever. Not only was he a great baseball player, he went into the Hall of Fame in UE. He was a great player on the 1964 National Championship team with Sloan and Hughes. He coached under McCutcheon on the National Championship team of '71. This is the Boulder from Rockport, Wayne Bouldinghouse. Wayne, what are your thoughts, buddy? You've got so many great memories about this place.
Unbelievable, but I tell you, I was walking in with my wife, Billy, who was a cheerleader here at U of E. We was approaching gate 1 today to come in, and I got a kick in the gut. You know, that this might be my last game at Roberts Stadium, and I tell you, that was hurtful, everything. But I have had so many great memories. It starts as a high school player, but as a collegian, coming on the floor for the first game against the University of Iowa, coming out of that tunnel down there, my legs were rubber. I did not think I was going to make it to the ball rack.
Talking to Bob Clayton from the National Championship team in 1971, he said Coach A-Rad McCutcheon was a forward thinker, might embrace this move to the downtown arena, but still have some mixed emotions today. You kind of agree with that assessment on Coach McCutcheon?
I wish no ill towards the new arena, and I hope they feel it every time they play, but this is my home. This is my basketball home, and I guess in my memory, this will always be my basketball home, and it's just a sad moment for me, but I've had so many highlights here.
And of course, one of the greatest, you were there in '64, and of course, the next year was a great year as well, but you had graduated. But what is it that's flown not only that era, but into the '70s, on into the '80s? It continued, didn't it?
It really did, you know, and the facility and the great coach of McCutcheon, a Hall of Fame basketball coach, caught the imagination of the media and the fans. In '65, I don't know whether it's been well publicized, but Evansville was second in the nation in home attendance that year behind the University of Kentucky.
10,000 plus. Wayne Bouldinghouse. Wayne, thank you for your time.
All right, go Aces.
Go Aces is right. He's going to meet. They've been coming up here to shake his hands. When we come back, we're going to have a conversation with a man who keeps Roberts Stadium going, right?
Daryl Benty.
But right now, a look back at some of the, we think it's arguably the best game ever played in this hallowed facility. 1965, Walt Frazier, David Lee, and the Salukis taking on Sloan and Humes in the national championship game here at Roberts. Take a look.
Aces, national champions, undefeated. Aces, the Aces. And here they are. They're hugging Sloan. They're hugging McCutcheon. This is the greatest bunch, ladies and gentlemen, that we have ever had the privilege of seeing. This is absolutely fantastic. This is something that you probably see once in a lifetime. So enjoy it and have a good time and be proud of our community.
No matter what the situation, when it comes to home health care, it's your choice. Choose VNA+. If you're recovering from an illness or injury or need a hand with everyday living activities, our professional nursing service, therapy, wound care, and personal care assistance can help you heal where you want to be, at home. Before you choose a home care provider, talk with your physician, talk with your family. It's your choice. Call VNA+, the name for complete care.
When you are wrongfully injured through no fault of your own, life can be tough. Oasis Legal Finance is the #1 choice to provide clients the money they need for bills and living expenses long before their case may settle. Call Oasis now. If you're approved, you could have a check in as little as 24 hours. The phone call is free, the application is free, and there's no obligation to repay if you lose your case. Call Oasis now.
It's what you've been waiting for, and it's back. The Mazda Sign and Drive lease offer at the Duals Evansville Mazda. $199 a month lease on a new 2011 Mazda 3 iSport, or $319 a month lease on a new 2011 Mazda CX-7, and as little as $389 a month lease on a new 2011 Mazda CX-9. All with $0 down at lease signing. Just sign and drive away in a new Mazda right now at the Duals Evansville Mazda.
Get less repetition and get more out of mornings on 14 News Sunrise.
New reports new this hour.
With more live local coverage.
Joins us live. They'll be increasing patrol.
Snow scattered this morning.
Some stations repeat old news over and over again. With Dan, Beth, and Byron, your news is fresh from the moment you wake up till you head out the door. That's the difference. That's why 14 News Sunrise is the #1 morning show in the Tri-State. 14 News, the Tri-State's news and weather leader.
We're less than a half hour from the tip-off of the final game, and Joe, they're coming in here. This is the best half hour before the game crowd we've had in a long time. It's great that they're coming in. It's great to have you with us. You know, besides the many fans, the many great players and coaches, there are people behind the scenes that really make a difference with Aces basketball, huh?
When you say the name Daryl Benty to any Aces basketball player, the first thing they do is what you're doing right now. They smile. Terrific. How could you not smile? This guy waves off the team for every road trip, not just basketball, but every athletic team at Evansville. Now more than 3 decades of work here at Roberts Stadium. Daryl, as you can imagine, says this place feels more than just a home court. It almost feels like home.
They are the footsteps of a man who works the old hallways of Roberts Stadium and lives the qualities of Evansville basketball.
If anybody would bleed purple in this school, it would be him.
It's a belief that the unselfish, the hard workers, the good people, they win the championships. They make the difference.
He's here before all of us, and he's here till midnight, it seems like.
His official title is Athletic Equipment Manager, but ask an ace, and they'll tell you Daryl Benty is Evansville basketball.
You go in the locker room, he has an article about your hometown or a newspaper clipping about you or some cool fact that, you know, you think no one would know, but Daryl knows.
35 years in his purple coat and Aces tie, Daryl Benty wheeled this cart around Roberts Stadium. He picks up game towels, the jugs of ice, the small things that make a college basketball game tick.
It means the world to me. It's important to me, just like my family is, and growing up in Evansville. It's just all part of living in Evansville, Indiana, as being an Aces fan.
Roberts Stadium, Darryl says, is the only arena he knows.
The trainers are really good.
The son of a season ticket holder, Darryl still carries his piece of the national championship he earned as a student manager.
You have to like what you're doing, and so you have to work 60 hours a week, but you get to work with the aces, and you get in all the games free.
He says he's got about 10 years left on the job. This Roberts Stadium caretaker will make the move to the new arena. But there's still work left here. More paperwork to check, more carts to roll, more steps to retrace. Now a 35th year.
I'll always remember it, no matter if it's still standing here or if it's not here at all. We'll still remember Roberts Stadium and how great a place it was.
Darryl's job typically starts about 6 hours before tip-off here at Roberts Stadium, and he's always the last person to leave here, typically when the lights are already off. He's got a big job today. That's one of the secrets, one of the big surprises here on the final men's game here at Roberts Stadium. Another secret, another surprise. Don't want to give it away, but keep an eye on the uniforms. You can probably read between the lines on that one.
You sure can. They've got something, as you said last night, up their sleeves,
Correct.
right?
Yes.
Darryl Benty will be the last to leave the stadium. This nice-looking guy, also another former ace that's just dropped by. Kurt Bagley, a great talent out of Forest Park. He came to the Aces, was the MVC 6th Man of the Year when they went to their last trip to the NCAA tournament in 1999. You just saw your good buddy Marcus Wilson. What was that like? You hadn't seen him in a while, had you?
No, I just got goosebumps again, Mike. I mean, it's to embrace your former teammates. You just rekindle those memories. And as I told you guys on the way, before we left the house, I had you on television. I saw Marcus, and I got chills then, and I'm getting chills talking about it now. And looking at that spot that he was talking about, because it brings back such great memories.
What do you think it is about this place from a player's perspective now as a fan?
Oh, it is the sixth man. The fans impact the game so much. When you come out of that tunnel and you feel that energy and you hear those fans supporting you, this is it's the best sport in Southern Indiana, and it's the best sport in Evansville, Indiana. So.
You look around, the buzz is starting to build. There's a big crowd here already. It's, attendance has been down, but today it's big. How important do you think that is for these guys to see a big crowd on the final game here at Roberts Stadium?
Speaking from experience, I can tell you it's an X factor for the players. You try to get yourself up for every game. First of all, there's going to be a lot of emotion on senior night, and you're going to see a lot of guys coming out here with a whole lot of energy, but to have the fan support you throughout the whole entire game is going to be a big, big deal for the players.
Kurt, we couldn't thank you more for stopping by. Enjoy today.
Thanks,
enjoy the whole deal. Kurt Bagley. And now, when we come back, guys, a final segment. We're gonna hear from a name synonymous. The man, Jerry Sloan, is going to join us live. A Farewell to Roberts continues right after this.
Get in on great savings and low leases right now at the Duals Evansville Kia. Like the 2011 Kia Optima starting at only $19,795 or lease as low as $259 a month. Or the new Kia Soul for as little as $15,795 or $189 a month lease. Plus you can lease a 2011 Kia Sorento as low as $299 a month. Plus all new Kias come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Kia, the power to surprise. See them all at the Duals Evansville Kia.
Why should you consider earning your master's in education from the University of Evansville?
I hope to have more tools and my tool bag to be a better teacher.
I was trained to be a scientist in a classroom, but now I feel like I'm trained to be a science teacher.
It was a program that would work well with my schedule as a teacher. My mindset has changed since I've come in here.
The Master of Science in Education at the University of Evansville. Take your career to the next level.
Pink. It's a color not often associated with fighting, except when it comes to the fight against breast cancer. The Tri-State has demonstrated year after year the power of pink. And now we're using the power of 14 News to provide a community of awareness about research, treatment, and events that can change lives and find a cure for breast cancer. Just look for Pink for Life on Facebook or 14WFIE.com. Presented by St. Mary's and these sponsors.
We're
celebrating our 525 anniversary, 5 years at Romaine Cross Point Auto Park, and 25 years of automotive sales and service to the tri-state. With the years come changes, but our commitment to offering you great prices will never change, like this 2011 Subaru Outback for only $23,995. Test drive the Outback and you'll understand why Subaru sales have increased by 50%, making Subaru one of the fastest growing car companies in America. It's more than just a Subaru, it's a Romaine Subaru.
Right now, you know, it's not just a farewell. It's not just a farewell to Roberts. It's a farewell to three really good guys, and it's got to be tough on them as well.
He's three of the more well-spoken guys you'll meet, especially at that age of 20, 22 years old. They really handle themselves very well, especially playing in the microscope of Division I basketball. These three seniors, they get the honor of playing the final home game in Evansville for them in the final Aces men's basketball game at Roberts Stadium.
For as long as I can remember, I've been coming to Roberts. I mean, before I could walk, I've been in Roberts.
He says he's heard the stories, the legends who filled these trophy cases, and the teams who won these banners.
Definitely being a hometown guy, I think I have a little more connection than, you know, some of the other guys.
A graduate of Forest Park High School, Clint Hope is one of three Aces seniors who will play his final game at UE in the final men's game at Roberts Stadium.
Well, you know, it's Roberts. It's home. It's an old arena.
If there's more pressure to win this game, considering the moment, the seniors give mixed answers. But what makes this building special to these upperclassmen, it's unanimous.
It's just the history of it. I mean, from, you know, guys like Sloan to Coach McCutcheon, Coach Simmons. When you go in that arena, you feel that. I mean, you don't have to be told. You can just, when you go in there, you know this is a special place.
This is where we play. This is where we practice. This is where we you know, our blood, sweat, and tears are in this place, you know, and that's what makes this place special to me.
One last time, these Aces will retrace the steps of legends. It's one last chance to remember and a last chance for the seniors to say thanks.
I was in class today. I shouldn't have been, but I was taking notes on what things I should say and some ideals, so I'm definitely thinking about it. It's just going to be a little difficult.
Still 10 minutes until tip-off of the final men's game here at Roberts Stadium. You can see a standing ovation. It's senior day. As we mentioned, right now, senior day activities at midcourt. They're going to honor the trainers and the managers of the team. And right now, Kevon Lacey bringing his parents to celebrate senior day.
And we're going to hear from those guys after the game as well. Folks, delighted to have, you know, this guy. My older brother Tom said, Jerry, there's only a few players in the country he would ever pay money to see play, and it's this guy, Jerry Sloan. What's it like for you, my friend, to come back on this historic day?
Well, it's exciting because I get to see some guys I haven't seen for a long time. Walk back in this building is a little bit intimidating to me now.
You played under a legendary guy that you love dearly. Talk about the influence of A-Rod McCutcheon. What he meant to you.
Well, when I came here, I really didn't know what kind of style of basketball we would play, but one thing I say about Coach McCutcheon, he's very consistent. He made the game simple, where we had fun, and he made practices short. And I've tried to use all those things in my coaching career and my playing career too, because sometimes I thought that I worked our players a little bit too hard at times. I always remembered back. We only practiced for an hour and a half, but we worked our butts off when we practiced.
Boy, you sure did. Also, there's a gentleman here, as he's been for the last 55 years since this great facility opened, a man named Dale Campbell. I think, is he 90 years old? Is he just close?
Not exactly true, he's pretty close.
But he's close. What did he mean to you as a young kid coming out of McLeansboro, Illinois?
Well, that goes way back, because Dale was, my aunt took care of him a great deal when he was in high school with my aunt's two sons. And he came to me and said, I'd like to repay the Sloan family some way by having me come and eat and sleep at his house once in a while if I wanted a good home-cooked meal. Little did I know I was going to get a lot of home-cooked meals. And he was more than just a good friend. He's more like a father figure to me. As was Coach McCutcheon, I might add, as well.
Absolutely. And nowadays, and I know you're very fond of the current head coach, Marty Simmons. he's done a great job, and it's a different game today, isn't it, Jerry?
Well, it is different, but you still, one of the things that we had Marty in camp with us whenever he came out of college, and we played a game up in Indianapolis, and he didn't fare very well, so he didn't make our team, but I knew he was going to be a good coach. He's very interested in basketball, and he knew basketball. And I just hope he gets a great shot here, because I know they've struggled a little bit, but I'm behind him 100%. I want to see him do well.
Jerry, people talk about influences in their life, whether it's school, whether it's parents. For you, the influence of Aces basketball and Roberts Stadium, how much have you carried that with you in your professional career?
I hope I got what you said. I had a difficult time.
The influence of Roberts Stadium, how have you carried this, what happened here, throughout your life?
Well, one of the things about the players that I played with here, they came to work every day. And the people appreciated that, the fact that we stepped on the floor, we were going to try to win. Whatever it took to try to win, that was our ambition. Barry Hughes, Paul Bullard, Wayne Bolthouse, you can go on and on about the guys that played here. Excuse me, but they didn't mind working. Coach McCutcheon worked this hard, but short. And that was the influence that I have. This building was simply full of people. We played most of our games. And I think we were second in the country in attendance. Division II school says a lot about the fans in Evansville, Indiana.
We've asked everybody that's been on the show, you had so many great moments. What, in terms of games, even a win or heaven forbid a loss, you didn't lose any in 65. What's your fondest memory game-wise, Jerry, as a player here at Roberts Stadium?
Well, I say the 3 games we had with SIU would be that was the culminating thing. That was a big thing. It stuck in my craw all these years, because it's not easy to beat a team 3 times. And they had a great team, and they had a great coach, as we did also. I thought we had a great team and a great coach. And it's interesting because it came down to 1 or 2 baskets to finish the game, and it was something I'll always cherish in my career.
Do you still talk to David Lee?
Yeah, I talked to him. I told him we really swamped him whenever we played him.
You've had so much success in your career. I'm sorry to interrupt, but come back here and see that banner you helped hang here at Roberts Stadium. How much is that still a big part of your life? One of your first successes?
Well, I've never lived for those things. Those things just happened because I played, and I think that's the thing that you have to remember. I never played a game thinking I was going to get my number retired or have something like that happen. I played because I loved to play, I loved to compete, and I was fortunate. I played for great coaches. And I had some great teammates throughout my college career, my high school career. We had a great high school coach, great players there. It was David Lee and I were teammates. And then I go to the pros. I was blessed with good coaches as well.
One final thing, Jerry, we understand. Did you speak to the team a short time ago?
I just went in. There's only about 4 or 5 of them. I told them to pass the message on down.
There you go. Hey, folks, I speak for a lot of people. You've been an incredible ambassador for this place and for basketball. Congratulations, Jerry, and I know thousands of people here.
We appreciate it. We appreciate the hospitality that Evansville has shown us over the years.
Hey, best of luck in the future.
All right, thank you very much. Nice to be on with you.
You bet. Well, that's just about our show. Joe, I think our dream has come true. It's not a sellout, but folks, it's the best crowd we think since North Carolina.
And that's kind of my final thought of this, is seeing this place excited for Aces basketball, because this team, even though they're on a 4-game losing streak at this point, has played some really good basketball this season. Next week they go out to the MVC tournament, they get a bye, they start the quarterfinals against Indiana State. It's important not only to win this game to send this place out with a win, but to kind of get some momentum back before you go play an MVC tournament game next week.
Well, here come the Redbirds. The Aces will be right behind them, and it is going to be rocking. And just in less than a minute, Jim Cruz and I will bring you the play-by-play of this ball game. Folks, it has been a pleasure to bring you a farewell to Roberts. Joe, a final thought?
Final thought is, again, the crowd. No one knew what to expect. You look around now, I would say it's probably 4/5 full. No one knew what to expect. Even yesterday, they only had sold 2/3 of the tickets. They expected a big walk-up crowd. It looks like they've got it. It's going to be interesting to see how these guys handle the emotion of the moment with a big crowd and so many former players and coaches back here.
Here come the Aces. Hey, for Joe Danham and all of us at 14 WFIE News and Sports, great to have you with us, but don't go away. The last game at Roberts. Aces and Redbirds coming up next.
Stadium. Sponsored by Duels Evansville Hyundai. Why duel with other dealers when you can deal with the Duels?